Just Traveling Through video. I'm Celeste.
And I'm Terry.
This week we're just traveling through Maui. This video will get you familiar with Maui.
And we're going to suggest a one-week itinerary you might find useful.
Maui sits just northwest of the Big Island.
It is the second largest Hawaiian island, but it has a huge number of accessible beaches, over 120 miles of accessible beach area, more than any other Hawaiian island. Okay, you can see here that Maui was created by these two large volcanoes. The eastern volcano, the world's largest dormant volcano, is named Haleakala. And the west is the other volcano, now known as the Western Maui Mountains. And as the land filled in between the two volcanoes, it created the valley, hence the name the Valley Isle.
What you can see there is Kahului Airport.
It is the only big airport on the island.
Most people stay in either the southern end of the island, south by Kihei or Wailea. That part of the island is considered the sunniest side of the island. It's the leadward side of the island as well.
Or they stay up in the northwest area by north of Lahaina.
There's some big resorts up there. There's a lot of golf activity, beautiful coastline. It's where a lot of people choose to stay. Day one is travel day. You're going to arrive in Maui.
You can fly directly to Maui.
Or you're going to come from one of the other islands.
Yeah, Hawaiian Air has flights to and from Maui just about hourly. They have a lot of flights available.
Find where you're staying.
Yeah, drive to where your accommodation is and get oriented.
Maybe buy some food if you're staying in a condo. First night, we recommend, or first lunch, stopping at Paella Fish Market.
It's a great place to eat. The food is very, very good and it's reasonably priced.
They have them all over the island. There's one in each of the major areas. The fish is fresh.
With a wide range of drink choices possible.
Day two, you're going to get up very, very, very early in the middle of the night and visit Haleakala. And the reason why we suggest doing this early in the trip is because you're still going to be jet lagged.
You're going to be awake anyway.
You're going to be awake anyway, and the longer you wait, the harder it will be to get up in the middle of the night. And the reason why you want to go that early in the morning is to catch the sunrise.
It is about an hour and a half drive from most places on Maui just to get to the Haleakala Visitor Center. And you're going to traverse one of the curviest roads in the United States road system as you rise up to 10,023 feet above sea level. And you're going to be on top of the world's largest dormant volcano.
You can see in our images here how beautiful it is at sunrise. It's really worth it.
Yeah, you're on top of the world. The payback is you're above the clouds and the sun is going to actually pop through the cloud cover.
One thing to note is that it can actually snow up here on top of the mountain, and this winter we went and we weren't able to go because it was closed. You might have better luck going not in the wintertime if you really want to see Haleakala.
Even in the summertime, you're going to find that it's going to be about 32 to 35 degrees cooler than it is at sea level.
Of all the images I've ever taken, these are some of my favorite.
Yeah, this really is a beautiful sight. This is something not to miss.
Day 3, we recommend going to the northwest side of the island and visiting Lahaina, Ka'anapali, and Kapalua.
There you'll find the Kapalua Coastal Trail, which is an interesting way to see some neat geography.
Parking is limited.
The earlier you get there, the more likely you are to find a decent parking place close to where the trail starts.
The trail itself is paved. It meanders along the coast, and it's about 1.6 miles long.
One way, with a round trip, of course, being twice that, or 3.5 miles. But you're going to pass by some of the more famous hotels in this area and the beaches that are associated with those hotels.
You can walk as far or as little as you want. You don't have to do the whole thing. After you're done with the trail, you can get back in your car and drive down to Lahaina and visit the town and have a bit of lunch.
Yeah, Lahaina is an interesting town. It was a big whaling center in the 1800s. And it's now just, of course, a tourist destination, but it still looks like it did 150 years ago. It's a neat little place to visit.
One of the things you don't want to miss in Lahaina is the banyan tree.
This is the largest banyan tree in the entire United States, and it has a long history. It was brought to Lahaina by a sheriff, and the tree was 8 feet tall when it was brought and planted in 1873. It's now over 60 feet in height and 200 feet wide.
the afternoon, we recommend either taking a snorkel trip or doing a whale watch tour if it's in the winter time.
Yeah, there's a lot of choices.
You can catch tours down by the harbor in Lahaina. The whale migration to Hawaii in the winter is kind of fascinating.
There are approximately 10,000 plus humpback whales that migrate to Maui every year. They come there to breed and have their babies born. And
they come from Alaska, right?
Yeah.
And then every, around May time frame, they start leaving
and they go
Hawaii,
back to
they go back to Alaska. And we caught those images just off of the Kapalua Coastal Highway Trail. We didn't even need to go on a tour. If you're in the Lahaina area and you want the full Hawaiian experience and you've never experienced a luau before, it's worth checking out at least once.
Yeah, it's not only the food; it's a total show. It's entertainment, it's history. So you'll enjoy yourself.
2 shows in the Lahaina area that seem to stand out. One is called the Old Lahaina Luau, which is a buffet-style luau. The other one is called Feast at Lele, which I believe they serve you, and it's not buffet. Both get really good reviews.
Yeah, many hotels also have their own luau set up.
They tend to be upwards of $200 per person, but if you're looking for a unique experience...
Yeah, if you're a first-time visitor, you should indulge.
Day 4, visit the south side of the island and stop at
Maui Ocean Center, a really interesting aquarium that has some great exhibits. As you can see in our video, there's just about one of everything you can find in the ocean off of Maui. Rays, sharks, turtles, you name it, and the aquarium has it.
This is a tunnel where you can walk through the tank. It gives you a really interesting perspective.
Yeah, the sea life are above you and below you and on both sides of you. It's just an amazing way to view a fish tank.
One of the cool things I've added in the last few years is a whale experience. It's a 3D experience.
It takes place in a sphere, and it's a bit of a movie-like environment, but 3D visuals and great audio and very educational.
Now, if you'd rather go out into the ocean and see the real thing, consider snorkeling either instead or in the afternoon. There are a lot to choose from, but perhaps one of the coolest is Molokini Crater.
It's a small, uninhabited island 2.5 miles off the coast of Maui and highly popular place to go snorkeling.
One cost savings tip, if you don't want to spend the money taking your family on a snorkel trip, is to go ahead and rent gear. There's a place on the island called Snorkel Bob's. It's in many different locations throughout the island. You can rent your gear for the entire week, and then you can find local beaches to go snorkeling.
Yeah, it's much more cost effective, and Snorkel Bob's is all over the place, and they have top flight gear.
The south side of the island has a lot of beaches. You can pretty much stop. There's a few parks where you can stop along the way.
One of our favorites being Makena Beach.
Makena is all the way on the south side of the island, south of Wailea.
And we first visited here a number of years ago when Makena Beach was considered way the heck and gone south of Kihei.
It tends to be a little less crowded than the other beaches. There is parking now. They've built a parking lot in the last several years. It's just a really nice place to come.
Really great place to chill.
If you go past the beach, Makena Beach itself, you'll hit some lava fields.
It's an unusual sight. It looks like people are actually growing lava, but it's the remnants of lava flows from ancient volcanic outbursts.
It gets a little bumpy. We did it in a rental car, but it does get kind of bumpy down there. If you're not going to the Big Island and you're not going to see lava anywhere else, I recommend heading down here.
Yeah, this is your chance to see what it looks like.
Day 5, consider taking a helicopter tour of the island. There's lots to see.
Yeah, this is a much faster way to get around the island and see things that would take a long time to drive to.
Beautiful coastline. There's waterfalls that you can see. As a matter of fact, we're going to talk about the road to Hana next after this, but there's a lot of things that you can see on the helicopter tour that are much more difficult, as Terry mentioned, to see from the ground. These are not cheap. For us, it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
You can't get these views of the 7 sacred pools like these from a car.
Frequently there's rainbows up there, and sometimes you can get an entire 360 rainbow. Something to consider. It's a quick way to see the island, and then you have the rest of your day to chill and relax and have fun some other way. Speaking of relaxing and having fun, on day 6 we recommend pulling up a chair somewhere, taking in what there is at Maui, doing whatever you didn't get done before during the week and just enjoying your last day. So what about the road to Hana? You'll see lots of videos out there and lots of people touting the road to Hana as one of the must-see spots on Maui. However, if you only have a week and you've never been there before, it's not something we recommend.
Yeah, it's an all-day event. It's a long, very complex drive.
Road to Hana is essentially a road trip. It's about the scenic road and stops along the way.
Yeah, it's not about Hana. You're going to pass through some jungle. You're going to pass over a number of one-lane bridges.
It takes at minimum 5 hours, and that's if you don't even stop much. And it can take as many as 12 hours or more if you want to stop and do many of the hikes and things to see along the way.
The distance is comprised of 620 curves, 59 bridges, of which 46 are only one lane wide.
If you have kids with you, they're not going to enjoy sitting in the car for over 5 hours going up and back to Hana.
No, there's nothing for kids to see. There's very little to entertain them, and they're going to get bored.
The locals don't really like all the people on this road. They're trying to get back and forth, and there's people clogging up the road, so it can be a little dangerous that way. They get impatient, they'll ride up on top of you,
Start honking.
and it makes it a little stressful.
Even the state of Hawaii recommends people take tours to get there, to get traffic off the highway.
Now what you're seeing are the highlights that we're passing by, so there's a lot of road in between those waterfalls and things where it's just a lot of driving. And you'll notice you saw some no parking signs. There's a lot of no parking. They don't want people walking on that road. So that even makes it difficult to stop and enjoy the sights. So as an alternative, we actually recommend a much shorter day, especially if you have kids. Just stop at Twin Falls.
Yeah, that's the Waialili farm, and there's two beautiful falls there.
There's an upper and a lower falls. The lower falls is very close to the parking lot. The good news there is a parking lot. And there's an upper falls, and the upper falls is a little over a mile. It can be slippery, especially if it's been raining, but it is a pretty set of falls, and it might be something your kids enjoy.
And then across the highway are a set of zip lines.
Called the Jungle Zipline Maui. After that, go to the Ho'okipa Beach.
Beautiful beach. If the surf's up at all, it's going to be good there.
And then perhaps stop in Paia on the way back for lunch.
Yeah, there's a couple of good places. Mama's Fish House and some other restaurants along the highway.
So if you do decide to do it, one of the tips that we have is to get up early and do the drive to Hana and not stop, and then only stop on your way back. Now, you want to stop at the state park because you need reservations.
You need reservations, but going early will get you clear of most traffic, and then on the way back you can take your time and pick and choose where you want to stop and see more.
There are some sites beyond Hana: Waialua Falls, Ohia Gulch, and Pipiwai Trail. Ohia Gulch is where the 7 pools are. If you go that far, you're going to add another hour at least to the trip, and then you have to add time for any additional hiking you would do up there. That's all we have on our 1-week Maui itinerary.
Hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as we enjoyed making it.
Thanks.
And come back soon.
Check out our website if you get a chance.